You can watch the live stream, my mother said, blocking the entrance to my sister's wedding. I had driven 7 hours from Fort Campbell in my dress uniform. 7 hours through rain, traffic, and the kind of hope you hate yourself for still having. Behind her, the doors of Rolling Hills Country Club stood open. I could hear a string quartet. I could smell roses and champagne. I could see more than 100 guests moving beneath crystal chandeliers. So when Mom said, Lily wanted a small family ceremony, I looked past her and almost laughed. Small. My father stood near the foyer, avoiding my eyes. My sister Lily saw me from across the room. For 1 second, our eyes met. Then she turned away. Like I was a stranger. Like I was a stain on the picture. Like I had not sent money from deployments, paid bills, covered emergencies, and answered every family crisis for 15 years. My name is Natalie Brooks. I am 36, an Army captain, and my family treated me like a fire extinguisher, ignored until something was burning. Mom, I said quietly, I was invited. Her smile tightened. Things changed. Dad? He rubbed his forehead like my presence was a headache. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Nat. That was when I understood. They were not confused. They had made a choice. I was good enough to send money, fix problems, and be responsible when bills arrived, but not good enough for the wedding photos. Mom pulled out her phone. We'll send you the live stream link. I stood there in uniform, holding Lily's silver gift, and felt something inside me go very still. I did not cry. I walked back to my car and listened to the wedding music start without me. 12 days later, Mom called. She did not ask if I was okay. She said, Natalie, we have a problem. I was at my kitchen table after a long day on base. What problem? The venue says there's a remaining balance. How much? A pause. $23,000? I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because my body did not know what else to do. Why are you telling me? Because your name is on the contract. The room went silent around me. My name is what? Mom sighed, like I was being difficult. Lily said you agreed to be backup guarantor. Your military email is on the paperwork. I opened my laptop while she kept talking. Her card had declined. Lily was crying. I had always helped family. I had no husband or children, so I could recover faster. Then she said the sentence that made me cold. It's just money. Natalie, don't punish your sister over her wedding. I hung up. My hands shook as I contacted every vendor. One by one, the contracts arrived. My name, my scanned driver's license, my military email, an electronic signature that was supposed to be mine. But it was wrong. The N was wrong. The angle was wrong. The rhythm was wrong. Soldiers know signatures. We sign forms constantly. You learn the shape of your own name. That signature was not mine. Then I checked the account recovery email on the signing portal. It belonged to Lily. I sat back in my chair and felt 15 years of loyalty turn to ash. They had not only excluded me, they had used me. Again? In 2018, Dad had used my name on a loan application. He called it a misunderstanding. I let it go. That was my mistake. Forgiveness without boundaries teaches people where to strike next. The next morning, I took everything to Captain Melissa Hart, a JAG attorney on base. She read the contracts in silence, looked up, and said, Natalie, this is not family drama. This is identity misuse and possible forgery. Hearing that almost made me cry, because part of me still wanted someone to say there had been a mistake, that Mom misunderstood, that Lily would never do this. Melissa slid the papers back toward me. Do you want to protect them, or do you want to protect yourself? I thought of Mom standing in front of those country club doors. I thought of Lily turning away. I thought of that Livestream link. And I said, myself. From that moment, I stopped reacting like their trained daughter. I started moving like the officer I was. I filed a fraud report, froze my credit, challenged every vendor contract, requested IP logs and signature records, and saved every text, voicemail, and guilt trip. When Mom realized I was not paying, she became soft, then angry, then dramatic. Finally, she became honest by accident. You've always taken care of these things. There it was. Not love, not gratitude, expectation. A week later, Aunt Carol called and asked me to come to her house. When I arrived, my parents were there. Lily was pale and furious. Her new husband, Adam, stood near the fireplace looking confused. Aunt Carol sat at the dining table with a folder. Mom started immediately. Natalie, this has gone too far. I looked at Lily. Did you use my driver's license? She looked away. Mom said, we were scared. I turned to her. Scared people ask for help? They don't steal identities? Adam's face changed. Wait, he said. You told me Natalie refused to come because she didn't support us. The room went still. I stared at my sister. Lily opened her mouth, but no words came out. Aunt Carol opened her folder. Since we're telling the truth, she said, Lily borrowed $6,500 from me last year for a medical emergency that apparently never existed. Lily burst into tears. Mom rushed to protect her. And I stood there watching the old family machine try to start again. Lily cried. Mom protected. Dad stayed silent. I was supposed to fix it. This time, I did not move. My father finally spoke. You could pay it and we'll figure it out later. I laughed once. You really still think I'm the family ATM? No one said that. You didn't have to. I placed copies of the contracts on the table. My name was forged. My military email was used. My ID was attached. If I pay, I accept responsibility for a crime committed against me. Mom whispered. Crime is a strong word. So is fraud. Lily looked at me with red eyes. I didn't think it would hurt you. That was the sentence that broke my heart. Not because it was an apology, because it was the truth. She had not thought of me as a person who could be hurt, only as a resource. I looked at her and said, You didn't think of me at all? No one spoke. Then I said the words I should have said years earlier. I am not your emergency fund. I am not your backup plan. And I am not the daughter you hide until a bill needs paying. Mom started crying. This time, I let her. The legal process took months. The venue corrected the responsible party. The signing platform confirmed Lily's recovery email. The florist and photographer removed my name from their claims. My credit stayed clean. And my family lost the one thing they had always relied on. Access to my money, access to my documents, access to my guilt. I did not press charges immediately, but I made it clear. Use my identity again, and I would. That boundary changed everything. Mom stopped calling for emergencies. Dad sent one text. I'm sorry we made you feel used. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed back. You didn't make me feel used. You used me. He did not reply. Lily called once. I let it go to voicemail. She cried through most of it. She said the wedding costs got out of control. She said Mom told her I would understand. Then she said, I just wanted one day where everyone looked at me like I mattered. I almost called her back because I knew what it meant to want to be seen. But wanting to be seen does not give you the right to erase someone else. So I saved the voicemail and did not answer. 6 months later, I went to Aunt Carol's for Thanksgiving. It was the first family gathering I attended since the wedding. And this time I came because I wanted to, not because anyone needed money. I brought pie. I sat down as a guest. When Mom started, Natalie, could you just help with... Aunt Carol cut in. No, she's a guest today. The room went quiet. I almost cried right there. Sometimes justice is not a courtroom. Sometimes it is one person saying, no, not her, not anymore. Lily came late with Adam. She looked smaller, less polished. She walked up to me and said, I'm sorry. I nodded. I believe you, but I don't trust you yet. It hurt her, but truth is kinder than pretending. That night, my phone buzzed with a message from Captain Hart. Credit report still clean, no new activity. I smiled for the first time all day. For years, I thought being needed meant being loved. I thought if I sent enough money and solved enough problems, my family would finally see me as a person. But love that only appears when there is a bill on the table is not love. It is dependence wearing a family name. The wedding hurt. Being turned away at the door hurt more than I can explain. But the bill saved me, because it showed me the truth in writing. My signature was forged. My role was invented. My loyalty was weaponized. And once I saw that clearly, I could stop paying for a place in a family that never saved me a seat. I did not lose them that year. I found myself. And that was worth more than $23,000.